Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Christina Aroche and I am the Archangel Channel, and I'm so excited for the video today because I'm continuing my interview series with other healers, channels, light workers, and I cannot wait for you to meet Rachel Green from the MyriadMoon Oracle, and she's just amazing. And our conversation today has included so many beautiful stories, so many pieces of wisdom, so much just beauty and light in the conversation. And one of the things about Rachel is that she has a way of holding space, that she has a way of speaking and sharing and explaining things in a way that are maybe things that you've heard before, but you've never heard them said in this specific way. And so I'm really excited for you to hear more about what Rachel has to share, her unique approach to healing, to channeling, and how she works with many different types of energies, types of different beings of light. And so I cannot wait for you to hear more. And so here we go. Welcome everyone. I am so excited to have Miss Rachel Green here with us today. I am so grateful for you, Rachel, for coming on here and for sharing your beautiful light, your wisdom, your truth, who you are with the audience here with us today. And I am just so grateful for you and our path and our journey together, and knowing you and having all of the beautiful, incredible conversations that we've had over the past years. I don't even know how long it's been.
Years with an S.
Yes. And so I'm really excited for everyone to get to know you. So let's start off with that. If you want to, introduce yourself, let us know who you are and, kind of what got you started on this spiritual journey, the spiritual path that you're on.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I am excited to interact with you and vibe on our frequencies. Hi, I am Rachel Green. I am the human aspect of the MyriadMoon Oracle. In preparing to have this conversation, it felt important that it was the Myriad Moon that's being interviewed, not Rachel, in a sense, that's being. So I just want to kind of put that out there before I talk about myself for a moment, that we are here. We, the Myriad Moon, are here, not just I, Rachel, am here. Like, where do I start?
I know there's so much, right? There's so much, so many places to start.
So much. I am in New York. How about we can start where I am?
Let's start there.
Actually, now where I live is on the same land where I grew up. So I grew up on a dairy farm in the Hamptons on Long Island in New York. And I spent many years as a grown-up away, traveling the world, traveling the country, living in different places, learning different things. And I have come home over that's almost 10 years now that I've been back here. And that's been a huge aspect of my development. So I am in my home space, and that feels great. I grew up Dianic Wiccan. So I know one of the things we're discussing is kind of how was I birthed as a light worker?
Yes.
How did I get
started?
Yeah. So I was a light worker my entire life before I even knew that term or understood what that was. My mother was a high priestess, a Dianic Wiccan high priestess, someone who grew up Roman Catholic and then decided in her grown years to work with the unseen energies. And so I grew up going to psychic fairs and having readings and Reiki circles, getting teased quite a bit for that, being ostracized in senses for that. But it was just normal in my life that there were these unseen energies that could be seen by some people, I guess it seemed. And that was all probably before I was 20 years old.
Wow.
And then in my 20s and 30s, I was on a self-discovery journey. So 20s and 30s was a lot of travel and learning and making mistakes, basically. And then when I hit 40, I was like, everything must change. And I threw all of my being into art. And I brought all of the artist, the inner creator out of me at that point and just said, this is who I am and this is what I do. And I began painting and photographing. Wow. And that, I think, was the springboard. And I'm mentioning that because the creative aspect of being a light worker, I don't think is spoken about enough, might not be the right word, but in maybe a proper way. We are all these creators, these creator souls, and the concept of art or being an artist is very narrow in the collective. Right. So I think a lot of light workers don't emit their art frequency for fear of being judged and worry. So to me, wanting to be an artist and putting that out there was this big step that I obviously didn't see till later. Was the big step.
Yeah.
And I'd say it was 2017. I tried to remember. I'm not quite sure if 2016, 2017, I had an awakening dream, like the most typical type of, I think you would call an awakening dream. So I'd spent a chunk of years as an artist in that sense, owning that. And then I had this insane dream that really, like, awakening dream is the perfect way to say it, just woke me up. And that would be the moment I would say that I started identifying myself as a light worker. So it was quite a long time into my life before I used that term.
Yeah.
By myself. And since then, I've been on the journey of what does that mean for me and what does that mean for the collective?
Right. That's so incredible. And I love that unique upbringing that you've had that really kind of, it's always, hindsight is 2020. You can see how it set you up in such a way in terms of you already being in a space where it was normal to have, the unseen energies around and the communication, all that kind of stuff, which, probably as you stepped into that kind of the awakening part of it after that dream, that was like, oh yeah, all of that makes sense. I know all of this kind of thing, right?
It was literally like I had the box of puzzle pieces now.
Right.
And I start placing them. I wasn't looking for them anymore. And obviously more pieces have come along the way, but I had a box to start with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, I just love this. And like I mentioned to everyone before, like you just hold so much wisdom, I feel, obviously you are an old soul. I don't think I have to tell you that. A lot of us are who are on this path. And so, you hold so much wisdom and so much truth and, in your experiences as well. I know you've had a lot of different unique experiences and situations that have really supported you in your discovery of you, in your healing of you, and all of these things. So, is there anything like any sort of pivotal moment or pivotal experience that you went through that really stands out to you, where, everything that you kind of accumulated over the years kind of came in, or, in some way where you were able to that it really supported you in being able to shift through whatever that thing was, or to move forward or expand or whatever the thing is. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do. The moment I'm going to discuss is kind of intense, but it really is a culmination point. Yeah. And it was when my sweet mama died. And she and I had a convoluted relationship. When I was little, I mean, she was my ride or die, like when I was a little, like I was her mini me. We were inseparable, and she really, like, I blossomed under that. And then for a period from maybe my 20s, even up until 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, it was challenging. It went up and down. We went through a lot of really rough times. I saw her as a grown-up. It's a very different perception of your parent, when you've grown up and see them. And I didn't like what I saw.
Yeah.
I judged her actually quite a bit. And we had a hard time. Always the love there, but always connected. We would have the same dreams sometimes, very strange, like, yeah, very deep connection. And then when she got sick, I became her primary caregiver. So we had this flip the script, and I became her ride or die. She became my mini me. We completely switched roles, and at that point I was already much further along on my process. So I had learned many tools. I had a big toolbox. You know, I knew myself much more deeply, and so I did manage that time. I guess I would say a bit better. Didn't feel like it in the moment, but I did manage that better with those tools as opposed to if I had not had those tools.
Right.
But when she died, there was this pull to understand on a deeper level why some of those things happened, why it was so difficult, why she seemed so hurt and messed up, to be honest. You know, why she struggled so much and why we couldn't connect in certain ways. So all of what I had learned, all of what I had brought into my knowledge, reducing my self-consciousness, increasing my self-trust, connecting to different dimensions and realms to discuss things or bring energy in and information in different ways, brought me to this understanding and realization that she and I were partners. We chose as souls to come in together and end a diseased lineage, to complete a cycle that had been running matrilinearly for ages. My legs are tingling as I talk about it because it's a very strong, like, I was pretty blown away when this information started to come in. And without my toolbox, I would not have been able to associate or process any of that. And I'm trying to be brief with this. There's one more piece I want to bring in. It was like a panacea. It cleared so much of me, the human Rachel, that felt sad that we argued before she died, and guilty that I didn't do more. And as a caregiver, you know, that guilt survivor process, so much goes along with that. That was so alleviated with that more expanded perspective that she and I did this together. I didn't do anything to her. You know, I didn't stand by while she was hurting and not act, which I felt at times. I had to have my boundaries up. This was all in service to a more expanded collective, clearing out again a diseased lineage energetically, and on this level in the DNA, within a physical level of the DNA. And so when I stood in front of the giant cremation oven with this, like, all the bells and whistles, most expensive burnable casket you can get, that's what she would have wanted, you know? And I stood there welcoming the change for her. All of these golden faces came forward in that moment.
Gosh, I'm getting chills as you're saying this.
All of these golden faces, and they weren't family, right? Like, you think maybe they're going to be family. I felt family energy, but this wasn't like we're meeting you, you know, at the portal. This was source energy. This was golden light. And they were small and they looked a bit like my buddies over here. And they were floating, and in that moment, I felt her ascend. I felt her cycle clear in a way. She and I partnered to heal her.
Oh my God.
And me. Simultaneously. And I love, and she's with me, and we partner now. She can actually work with me in a way that we couldn't work together before, now that she's dead. It's great. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I never thought that I would speak like that
Right.
about that experience,
Right.
but it's because of the tools, the work, everything that I did for myself that I felt selfish about at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that actually were leading me to this much more expansive, could never have imagined experience.
That's absolutely incredible and so beautiful. And like, if anyone has tears right now, it's all good. I'm always have tears just listening to
Tears are
that.
great. They cool our brain.
Yes.
Tears cool our brain off
Oh,
scientifically.
I love that. Good. I need to cool down. But that's just so, it's such a moving story. It is such a moving story because I feel like it brings so many elements and so many pieces together in the sense, like you said, like the human part of us that's like, am I being selfish? Did I not do enough? All of these things, right? And then also brings in everything that you've learned, the tools, all of that, and showing you through the process. You know, it's probably almost one of, I can only imagine an experience where you, it's just like one foot in front of the other. Okay, I'm just going to do what the next thing is and do the next thing. I'm not really thinking too much about it. I'm just doing what, you know, I feel like I need to do. And then it brings you to this moment where you're like, oh, that's what all of this was about. I could have never planned that. Or, you know, like imagine if you were told that ahead of time, you know, it would have,
Completely different.
yeah, yeah, that's so, so incredible. And so it leads me to a question that I thought of as I was listening to you, which is, do you feel like your mother has had an influence in the sense of the myriad moon, like you were talking about at the beginning? You know, where do you feel like that she plays a role in that, if she does play a role in that? You know, and kind of maybe explaining a little bit more to people what the myriad moon represents for you.
Yeah, that sounds good. She doesn't play a role in that.
Okay.
Yeah, that is, and I've never thought about it. Thank you for asking me that actually, because
Yeah.
that gives me some more clarity because I never really thought about that. But
Mhm.
no, the married moon is actually a quite I wanted to say closed system, but that's not quite right. It
Okay.
is it's a cell. It has a cell membrane, let's say,
Okay.
within my energetic light worker being. The myriad moon is a very like a group of tissues or a group of cells that are all within,
Mhm.
right?
So it's an aspect of you. Is that what you would say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's like one piece of me.
Okay.
There are a few others that I can mention as well if you'd like. But the myriad moon, I sit at the hub. The myriad moon is like a compass.
Mhm.
It is, we are
Mhm.
6 energetics and a
Mhm.
human hub.
Mhm.
So I see it like a compass because 2 of the energetics didn't come forward until a bit later on in
Okay.
the process. So
Okay.
there were 4, me in the center.
Mhm.
I'll introduce them if I
Yeah,
if
by all means, yeah.
so in the center is Rachel, the
Mhm.
human hub.
Mhm.
To her right is Ashanda.
Mhm.
Ashanda is a black jaguar, and
Mm.
she brings the divine masculine in feminine form. So a balance
Mm.
within a balance.
Okay.
To my left is Mordecai. He's
Mhm.
a black bear, and
Mm.
he brings the divine feminine in masculine form. Again, a balance within a balance.
Right. I love that.
Above, we have Bhairani, our sky shaman. Think falcons and shapeshifter and clear view and vision and things like that.
Mhm.
And then below, we have Recall, the
Mm.
Earth Oracle.
Wow.
And yeah, I just let's take a minute for Recall because that is the Gaia connection.
Mhm.
Recall's the connection to our sister Gaia, and that's how it operated for quite a while. This
Mhm.
sort of almost like a 2D, right? I'm in this like two-dimensional plane
Yep.
and they're around me. And I work if you hadn't already guessed, growing up Wiccan, and I work a lot with elementals, a lot with tree energies or animal energies, rock energies, crystal. I'm a crystal magician, so I work with a ton of
Yes.
crystals.
Oh my gosh. The crystals that
I know.
Rachel has shown me is out of this world. It's amazing.
It was so hard. I was like, should I bring a crystal? I'm like, there's too many. No, I just have my guys back here
Yeah.
repping for the crystals. So after I worked for a while and I gained some more deeper self-knowledge and more tools and things like that, the front and the back came into focus a bit more. But they are a very different type of energy. They're not cohesive in the sense that they have these names and connections. They're more quantum, to be honest, and I call them Alice and Bob. So one is forward motion and one is reverse motion. So they live in this like phased frequency ahead of me and behind me. So I have now become three-dimensional. The Myriad Moon has now become three-dimensional in that process, and it's new. I kind of knew they were there, and I had their little my jokey names for them. Again, they're not energies that have names.
Right. It's just your nickname for them. You're like, I'll just call you Alice.
These are my names for them, right? And anybody who is if anyone is a quantum physicist listening to this, they're going to get the Alice and Bob joke. So I have now moved from 2D into 3D, and the purpose of the Myriad Moon is to act as a translator, to act as a mediator between many different frequencies and worlds. So on one level, they encompass me in a sphere. So I, Rachel, the human, don't have to feel so put upon, honestly, is the term that comes forward, to sift through all the information that's coming in. So they act as filters. So when I'm doing an oracle session, I rely on them almost like a prism in a sense, or maybe a reverse prism, to like, they bring like all the different frequencies in and they narrow it down to my human being and allow me then through all my clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, that's how I get the messages from them. So it's actually a relief to me to work in that way, because it doesn't feel so big and unattainable to narrow down all the messaging that's coming in. So they work to translate between the bigger source energies and a message that can come through clearly for a human person, most likely someone who is nowhere near where I am at, you know, with the work I've done and on my journey, or just the understandings of the processes, to then get that message to them in a way they can understand, not in a way that makes sense to me, in a way they can understand. So it's very changeable, and that's why I love working as the Myriad Moon, because I get to be so many things. And specifically within that, what the Myriad Moon does is mediate and translate between the conscious mind and the wisdom body. The instinct, the intuition and things like that, and help a person within themselves clear that static between what their conscious mind is doing and what their wisdom body is trying to say.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. I have no words. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. That's amazing. It's so incredible. And, you know, I think that's such an important, like, so many aspects of what you mentioned is so important and so powerful, especially as a light worker, as a channel, you know, like you said, there's so much information out here, and being able to filter it in. So it's the exact thing when someone hears what the message or the guidance, whatever it is that you share with them, it's just like, bing, like lands like probably so deep into their heart, you know what I mean? And it's just, and the beautiful thing is that you're not logically or consciously, or maybe it's I don't know,
a little bit
of your conscious mind, not totally, but you know, like not your logical mind at least is coming in and like, this is what I think you should do. It's more of like, this is the right?
That is a great point to make, because my intellectual mind is almost fully engaged,
Yeah.
because part of my path is a wisdom path. So I am an independent researcher. Me, Rachel, learn a lot of things because that actually gives the Myriad Moon a larger pool to pull from to help me understand what's going on. So the more you can learn about anything and everything, the easier it is to convey a message,
Right.
because I can get that information in a way that's going to make sense to the other person. So logical, maybe not so much. Intellectual mind, almost fully
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's not that your conscious mind is not there, because it is, like, your mind is still part of it, but you're not. Yeah, you get what I'm
It's
saying.
more, it maybe this might kind of put it into a nutshell. There are layers that go from least dense to most dense, matter, light, matter, right? So the Myriad Moon is at a very light aspect, frequency wise. It's not very dense at all. Then I have layers that it goes through to bring it into the matter form, to the density of thought form for this dimension, this reality. And my intellectual mind is a large part,
Yes.
giving it matter, right? It's a much more dense layer
Yeah.
of the process, but necessary.
Yes. Yes. You just explained that so beautifully, and you always have a way of explaining things so beautifully. I just love it. Yes, that's exactly it. Oh, that's so, so good. Thank you for sharing all of that with us, because
I love
that's
to do.
it's such a huge part of you and who you are and the work that you do and all of the things. So that's just incredible. And so another question that I have for you is just, thinking back, obviously, like we've been talking about, you've been on this journey, a lot of different things have happened in your life. But if you could think of, a past version of you, a past self, what would you say to her? Like, what would be a piece of wisdom that you would share with her? Maybe a time when you were struggling, and everything that you know now, like, what would you say? What's something that stands out to you?
I love that question, first of all. Thank you.
Yes,
And I'm actually going to refer to my notes for this question,
yeah.
because I wrote down, it's actually three things, because I pretty much do everything in threes all the time.
Beautiful. I love it. We all love the number
So,
three. Yes.
yes. So there are three things that I wrote down. And this is to my past self, but also to all young light workers. This is what I would say, to anyone in that position, definitely. Or share. I like share better than say. I would share these three things. The first one is build your toolbox with joy. Start gathering, picking, bringing in different ways to experience this world, and different modalities, different methodologies, that give you a spark of excitement, whether it seems like it's within your wheelhouse or not. No matter what it is, I kind of mean try everything, but I hesitate to say try everything, because that may take too much time.
Yeah.
Have that mentality about it, that you're open to bring in anything new, right? And explore everything again that brings you that spark of excitement, and explore some things that don't. Explore some things that challenge you, because you may not know what's right for you until you feel the frequencies. So yeah, the first one is really about your toolbox and stocking it in a way that's expansive, because you never quite know what you're going to use or do. I never thought I would be working with dragons.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
That would be the thing I would do, right? But I was open to
Mm-hmm.
bring it in. So that's the first one. The second one is recognize your power, your agency, and your sovereignty. So your power, you are a vessel for source, right? But you are also a creator in your own right. There are many, many levels to that. And by recognizing that, you may not feel it, that's okay. You may not feel that powerful, but recognize, that's key to this. Recognize that power. It's there to grow, and it's yours. That's where the art comes in a little bit. Be creative without an agenda. Agency. Recognize your agency. You are the director of your being.
Mm-hmm.
No one can make you anything. There are many layers to that, and it's a very complex thing that I'm obviously not going to get into right now. But it's the idea that you have that agency. You are directing all of this. It might be super deep. It might take a while, but you're the director.
Mm-hmm.
And recognize your sovereignty. You have energetic boundaries, right? You have what's yours and what's not yours. Get to know that boundary really, really well in whatever way, right? Pull from that toolbox that you're creating and get to know that boundary, because the less there's bleed through between what's yours and what's not yours, the more solid you'll feel in all of these other aspects. And the third is every single aspect of your identity is changeable, fluid, dynamic. Even the things that make you you, right? When we say that's just who I am, that's just what I do. You know what? No, it's not.
Yes.
That is not who you are. That is what you do. Mm-hmm. So just being aware, again, this is for baby light workers, right? Just be aware that that distinction exists, mm-hmm. that you are light, pure and simple. And everything else, your identity, everything else, it's just what you do with it.
Oh my gosh. Mic drop right there. We're done. Interview done. It's over. Nothing else needs to be said. That was amazing. That is so beautiful. And on like I said, like nothing else needs to be said. You like I said to you before, you convey things in such a beautiful way that I feel like for a lot of people it's really gonna land. Maybe we hear these things here and there and whatever, but the way that you just said it, it was like, okay, yeah. I'm even like, okay, I need to take notes.
It really is for any point in the journey, honestly.
Yes. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing that wisdom with everyone. And I would love to hear from everyone, post in the comments what really out of those aspects that Rachel shared, what was one of the things that really landed for you? Share with us in the comments, post it below, because I feel like that was just the most beautiful piece of wisdom for you to share with us. So thank you for that. So another question that I have for you, and kind of switching gears a little bit, but we've talked a lot about the toolbox and how there's so many different tools, and you work with so many different types of energies. And one of the things in the way we have connected is through connecting with angels and working with angels, and being in the angelic healer certification program, and kind of training specifically with the angelic realm and the angelic frequencies. And with regards to all of the amazing tools that you do have, I would love for you to share, what's a piece of or an aspect of that specific tool in the toolbox that you feel has really been supportive for you in terms of who you have become today, or in terms of the work that you do today in relation to working with the angels or having their presence around you or whatever.
Definitely. Yes, I love that. And just first off, gratitude to you for bringing that program. It was such a beautiful synchronicity that led me in there, and the angels called to me. I felt their energies first, mm-hmm. and went through an intellectual journey, and then bam, there was Christina. Where did you come from, Angel? So just gratitude to you for bringing that program into this world. Wow. I would definitely say that the main piece is self-confidence. Hands down. Although I was at that point very confident in my personal experiences, and confident in what I was doing for myself, I was definitely not confident in sharing my gifts in that particular way. I mean, you couldn't shut me up at a party about it or at a social situation about it, but professionally, business-wise, sharing my gifts and like working with others just seemed unattainable before that program. And after that program, I created my business. So I would definitely say that the angelic healer certification is like an imposter syndrome dissolver.
I love that. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
A lot of confidence in that outer way, right? And of course, I'm sure it came in an inner way as well. I'm not saying that that's not a piece that can be gained from it. But for me personally, that was where I was stuck, kind of shifting. And it was just, imposter syndrome was just so huge in my mind. Like, who am I to do this? And everybody else does it. And what would I offer or add to that process? And that your amazing guidance, the program container, and the angelic connection that occurs, especially with the Herschel angels, is just key to really clearing that imposter kind of feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Angel Celeste.
She was the one who guided you there, huh? That's amazing. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I think for me, from the very beginning, that has always been such, like, when that program started to come through me and knew that was a creation that was meant to bring into the world, that was always at the forefront. Yes, teaching the skills and teaching these things and how to channel, but it was like, but I want you to feel confident in who you are. I want you to know that this is who you are, right? And not in a way that you're replicating me or how I do things, but in a way where you really step into your true self. And so thank you so much for reflecting that back, because for me it means I did a good job with that.
You really did. I would not be in this position that I'm in now without that piece. It was,
yeah, that's amazing. And so what would you say for anyone who might be considering looking at that program, considering it, kind of on this path of stepping into the next level of their expansion as a light worker, as a healer, as a channel, and they're thinking about it, what would you say to them in their consideration?
I would say, trust your body. Trust how it feels in your body, right? Our minds are worried about how we're going to pay our bills and how we're going to make our schedule, fit this process. And all those are valid aspects, right? But your body will tell you what your gut, what your immediate reaction is to the process. So if you're able to consider the program and just, do you clench? Do you lean forward, right? Do you start to laugh, or does your jaw tighten, right? Listen to your body, because that will guide you into what is right for you in that moment at that time. For me, there was a lot of fear financially around stepping into a program of any type, any kind of program of that type, right? And there was a lot of fear around that, but my body was just overjoyed. So tune into your body and then filter through what your mind is bringing forward and invest in yourself, right? Remember that a program like this it returns on value exponentially in the process of actually doing it. So your body will tell you.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I agree. The body is just holds so much wisdom. And, I feel like in our day and age, a lot of people, it's at some point in our journey, we become disconnected from it, or we just kind of like, whatever, like whatever this body, but like coming back to that wisdom in the body and being led by it, and, using that, what you just explained in any, big decision or whatever is so powerful and so huge. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I have one last question for you before we wrap up today, which is, and I don't know why I'm asking this because you've just shared so much wisdom with us already. But I know that you're like that never ending well of wisdom.
Thank you. I
But
appreciate
the last question that I have is if you have any parting words that you'd like to share with our viewers, anything, anything that really you feel called on your heart right now to share, to remind them of, whatever it is that you feel to leave as parting words.
I do actually have a little experience I'd like to recount
Yeah.
that I'm not really sure why, in a sense, but that's what's on my heart. That's
Yeah.
what feels like I want to share.
All means.
So I think it was last week we had the amazing full moon, whenever the last
Mm-hmm.
insanely amazing full moon was
Yeah.
that we had. Uh, I decided to bring all of my selenite outside into the moonlight. Now, for some people, they may not know that is a way that we can cleanse our selenite or imbue it with moon energy. Selenite, Selena, the moon, that's where its common name comes from. And oh, maybe, okay, I think I see why this story is coming through. So
Mm-hmm.
I am a pretty like remiss practitioner in the sense of cleansing my crystals and meditating every day, or the things that we kind of have as this idea of, if you're a light worker, then you're going to be having this type of practice, you're going to be doing these things regularly. And I've always kind of felt like, I don't know, the C student in
Mm-hmm.
that situation. I don't really vibe with that type of routine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a lot of back and forth and pull in my own being of like, am I doing it right? Could I be doing more? Maybe I should be, again, cleansing and clearing, saging my house more often, bringing my crystals outside, doing a ritual, whatever it might be within your own modalities. Um, I feel like there's some pressure
Mm-hmm.
on light workers to follow a particular way, right? And
Yeah.
I don't follow that way, and I feel that way, right? So me bringing my selenite out for a full moon, like that has not happened in a really long time. And I don't, like, again, I don't even do the little things. Sometimes I spray some stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel remiss in that. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take all of the selenite outside. I have a lot of plates, but you can kind of see right here,
Yeah.
that is like a 30-pound log of selenite
That's
right there.
amazing.
That it is. I love that so much. And it does most of the heavy work in this room, because this is where I work as well. So it does the heavy work in this room
Mm-hmm.
of just clearing, right? Energetically. But I don't give it a ton of love. So
Right. Right.
I'm finding little like things to bring all the selenite out on, and you got to wrap that in a towel because it's gypsum. The pieces just fall off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all these slivers, and that can't be around for the cats, and that can be dangerous. And so,
Yeah.
ugh.
Totally.
But I wrap it in a towel, carry it out like a big old baby, and I put it outside. And I mean, this moonlight is mind blowing. Like the moon is
Yeah.
so insane. And so I put everything out, and I ended up leaving it out all night actually, which feels really good. So I bring all the selenite outside. I am talking to it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, feeling very remiss, right, in interacting in this particular maintenance way. And I'm like, I love all of you. I'm so grateful for what you do and the help that you give me to work with these earth elements, where it was my passion. And I'm talking in almost like baby talk. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you so much. And just like, I'm really feeling it, right? Like I'm really feeling the connection and loving on it so hard. And at the same time, feeling a bit self-conscious, feeling like, is this even a real thing? Does this matter? Like I'm having this
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
multi-layered experience as I'm doing it. And as I say, I love you. After all this talk, and you're great, and I'm just so glad. And I turn my head and I look up and I see a gigantic bright green fireball meteorite
Oh,
drop out of the sky.
what?
Like, I'm like, for a good 30 seconds. I'm
Oh.
standing there with my mouth agape, hands in front of it, like people are around, like, and then my mind starts to go, must have been a flare, must have been a firework, must have been, my mind starts to go, obviously, like, there's no way that
Mhm.
that just happened. And I'm looking at the selenite going,
Yeah. Did you just
did you
make
see
that happen? I don't understand.
that?
Yeah.
Was that real? Is that serious?
Oh
And
my God.
I was awash in love and gratitude and connection and just like a like little tear, little like, you hear me, you
Yeah.
see me. That was some of the most beautiful validation and connection that I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing,
Yeah.
exactly when I need to be doing. I mean, just the timing, right?
Mhm.
To
Mhm.
look up and see it fall through the sky.
Wow.
I have never, and I've seen a lot of meteors. I'm into astronomy.
Okay.
So, seen a lot of meteors. It's actually one of the classes I'm taking right now, astronomy. I'm
Hmm.
really into this. I've
Yeah.
even seen the northern lights out here like a long, long
Wow.
time. I've seen some pretty cool stuff. I have never seen anything like that.
That is incredible.
So,
Wow.
don't worry so much
Mm.
about those 3D procedures in
Mm.
being a light worker. Own your cycle,
Mhm.
own your own rhythm. And so I released a bunch of that feeling remiss, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Yep. Yep. It's not the routine or this or that that defines or that even, says this is why you deserve this or this is what you're capable of. It's not about the doing, it's not about those things at all.
No, it's not. Clean your crystals whenever you want.
Yes.
Ask them. They'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
if they need it. Follow any procedure you want, honestly. Like if you feel like sunlight or water, or whatever, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Don't feel locked in.
Yeah.
Follow your everything in a season. You might have a routine for a season and then that routine changes. Be changeable, be fluid, be dynamic because beautiful confirmation comes from the stars.
So good. Oh my gosh. That is the best, most incredible story to end this conversation today. Thank you for sharing that. And I just love that it just recently happened too. So it's like fresh
It's
still,
fresh.
in your energy,
Yes.
in your mind. So
Yes.
good. What an amazing confirmation. And I feel, sometimes it's like in sharing that too, and in your sharing of that story, you just gave confirmation to so many other people too. And just kind of like that sense of you're okay, you're good. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you once again. Where is the best place for people to connect with you, to learn more about you, to stay in contact with you? Is there anywhere where you would like to direct others?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say, I am on hiatus technically right now.
Mhm.
I am in the process of getting a second bachelor's degree in geology.
Mhm.
So my calendar is technically closed until January, but I am doing oracle readings by people who contact me directly. If someone feels that an oracle, by seeing me today and you feel like I want to connect, you can connect with me on my email, MyriadMoonOracle@gmail.com. MyriadMoonOracle@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Find me there. And you can look at my website and read about me, more about me, what I do at MyriadMoonOracle.com.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that. And yes, please, anyone who feels called to connect more with Rachel, with the Myriad Moon, please contact her. She, as you can see, I don't have to say any words. She is incredible. So, so amazing. So beautiful. Thank you once again for sharing your light here with us today. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, for being a part of this. It was such an honor to have you here. And again, I would love to invite everyone to share your love for Rachel in the comments below. Let us know, what was your biggest takeaway from this conversation today. And if you want to learn more, I'm going to have all of that information from Rachel. It's in the description below this video, so you can go there if you didn't catch what she just shared, but you can always scroll back and do that too. But awesome. All right. Well, thank you once again to you, Rachel. Thank you for everyone listening. And that's it for today. So, as always, sending you all so much love and angel blessings, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, here we are. How amazing was that conversation? Like I mentioned, please feel free to share in the comments below your key takeaways, the things that stood out to you, the things that you loved most, and of course, reach out to Rachel if you are interested in learning more from her or connecting with her on a deeper level. And so for those of you who are on this path of becoming a light worker, of stepping into your purpose as a healer, of really becoming a spiritual leader, I am so excited because the doors for the Angelic Healer Certification Program are open right now, but only for a limited time. There's a few days left to join this next round of the program. And this is for anyone who is in this place in their journey, in their life, where it's like you're in that pivotal moment of, okay, I know that there's something more for me. I know that I'm meant to do this work. I know that this is who I came here to be. And so this is an opportunity, if you feel called to it, if this is what resonates with you, this is an opportunity for you to take that big step, make that big decision, take that leap of faith into who you know you are, who you know you're meant to be supported in that, to be guided, to be mentored, to be loved, to be seen in your power and in your truth so that you can fully show up in that for the world. So if this is something that you've been considering, something that you've been looking at, something that you've been searching for, this right now is the opportunity before doors close. So if you're interested, you can find more details about the Angelic Healer Certification Program in the description below this video. You can also find it in the pinned comment below this video, or if you're watching this on Instagram, you can find it, all the information in the link in my bio. So that is it. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, comment below. Let us know. If you have any questions for Rachel, post them below or reach out to her. And if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet to this channel, then I invite you to subscribe so that you do not miss any other future videos, including the weekly angel messages that I share on here. And so that is it for today. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you for being here. And as always, I am sending you so much love and angel blessings, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.